Zealand's immigration advisor as well as education advisor, coming live from my office here in Hamilton, New Zealand, like every week on on the Tuesday evening, which corresponds to approximately 7:30 New Zealand time and around midday or 12 in India, which is where a bulk of our clients are based in. But warm welcome to everybody from different parts of the world who are joining in on this live broadcast from Hamilton. As always, I will start with the formalities. My name is Arun Jacob, and I'm a licensed New Zealand immigration advisor and also an education advisor for all you young people and not so young people who are desirous of coming to New Zealand and making this your new destination. And hopefully, some of you will go on to create good futures in New Zealand and also end up becoming very productive residents and workers and citizens of our country. I'm in a really, really rushed mood, guys, today. It's been a crazy, hectic day for me. Just finished my walk up my mountain like every week, and I'm actually trying to do it twice a week now. So, finished that workout, came back all sweaty and tired, and then I had to go rush to my new house where I'm shifting. So, I had a meeting with the builder, and I came back and I'm practically still sweating from all that activity. But what the heck, I said I'm not gonna miss my date with all my wonderful followers on Facebook and YouTube who come week after week and want to sit and interact with me and my awesome team who are all there. We are about 40 of us now, and we are growing quite significantly. Every time I come and do a live session, I think I'm talking that we guys are growing. But hey, look, we are growing so that you guys have a good experience and journey to New Zealand. As always, starting by showing my license. Very proudly studied for it and worked pretty hard to get this license of mine to call myself a licensed New Zealand immigration advisor. There's a copy of that license on the wall as well, and this is just my wallet card that I put in my wallet. And every time I introduce myself professionally, and somebody says, "So, what's the work you do?" And if I'm getting into any immigration discussions, there it comes out, that lovely license, and I show it to people and say, "Yep, you're good to have a good conversation with me because I'm well trained and I also work with a code of ethics and conduct to ensure that all of you are getting the right advice about moving to New Zealand, either temporarily or on a more permanent basis." Cool. So, what's been happening in my life since the last time I came live last week? As you can see, I've had a haircut, and my team has been going to town making fun of it. And come on, guys, it's not that bad, all right? So, anyway, so that's something. But more importantly, moving away from mundane things like haircuts, my senior colleague, Mary Joseph, who also lives here in Hamilton, along with our other senior colleague called Gisela Combrink, who is a licensed immigration advisor who has joined our team. So, we went and conducted a workshop in Auckland this last Sunday. And that workshop is called Jobs and PR. What is the journey from international student to becoming a permanent resident of New Zealand? It was well attended. Of course, this was just the second time that we are doing something like this. And I was supported by Gisela, and I was also supported by Mary. And then we were also fortunate to have some of our wonderful AJV students who came forward and helped us to do this. So we were talking essentially about what is the pathway for international students who come to New Zealand, because the dynamics are changing quite rapidly. There's a lot of things that are happening. Policies are changing. Some of the education institutes are changing. They're merging and becoming one. So a lot of things are happening. It's a very fluid and dynamic environment at the moment, and which is why I think it is very, very important that for all of you who are planning to make the move to New Zealand and foresee a long-term future, to work with good, competent organizations like AJV, because we guys know what we are talking about. Plus the fact that we are very, very committed to your growth. And I keep saying this each and every time that I come live, that we will keep our profits as the fourth priority. Our first priority will be to ensure that we are helping New Zealand's growth economically and culturally. Second, we would be committed to our clients and our students and our migrant clients who are coming to New Zealand through us. Third, our commitment is to our wonderful team of AJV contractors and employees. We are about 40 of us. So that's, and last, if we do all one, two, three well, I think we will earn enough for all of us to be happy and joyful. So that's how it's going to be. So So that's what we guys did. So, and unlike a lot of companies, what we do is a lot of companies will do a good admission and visa process. But I think what we guys do is we actually start the story with you after you land here in New Zealand. We hold your hand and walk with you, and we're continuously in touch with you. And people who came to New Zealand through our team, even 10, 12, 13 years back, are still in touch with us. And we're constantly advising them and being their friends and guides and mentors and advisors. So that's really the big AJB advantage for all of you. Talking about our team, another ex-immigration officer of New Zealand has come and joined us. It's a very warm welcome to her, and we hope that she will work with us for a long time and build this very committed team that is trying our best to the best of our abilities to ensure that all of you get good advice. So right now we have two licensed immigration advisors, plus Mary, who is our senior manager, is about to get her license, and then we have five ex-immigration officers who are also part of the team. So we are a super solid team, guys. So, and like I said, we do it with a smile, with a laugh. We'll be like, we'll wear our t-shirts and shorts and come and work with you guys. We are not those formal suit wearing types who will give you big long spiels about immigration policy and stuff. If you are a genuine student or client who deserves to be in New Zealand, we will absolutely work with you and take you forward, hold your hand, and walk with you. All right. So that's the AJV promise, guys. Cool. Let's see what are the questions that have popped up today. Thanks to everybody who's joined in. A big hello. If you're an AJV student, please identify and tell yourself that you're an AJV student so that I can selfishly give longer answers. If you're not an AJV student, I will still give answers. But hey, look, like I said, we are here to gain more business, but in giving good, honest information. Right. So Pedro Kiviman says, Kia ora, hi, Kia ora, Pedro Kiviman, tenakwe, ketepefia which is, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Awesome. Rivo Vikas asked, hi, Mr. Jacob. My wife wants to come to New Zealand on a study visa. She has more than 7 years of work experience in project management, business strategy, and planning, and human resource management. Currently, she's taking care of project management, strategy, and planning in a limited company here in India. It's a critical profile, and she is doing an excellent job. Well, good on you, Matt. You need to praise and support your wife. Well done. Happy wife, happy life. I've already shared her details with one of your counselors, Saili Falak, and I'm pretty much contented with the option suggested by her. Okay, it goes on. It says MBIS sounds to be a good option. Okay, what are the prospects once she successfully completes a master's? Will she be eligible to go for a PhD over there? Man, you've written a really really long question here, Rivu. But hey, look, I'm gonna, because I'll need to economize on my time and ensure everybody gets a good answer. First and foremost, Rivu, thank you so much for choosing to work with AJV. You have a lot of choices as smart young people. You chose to work with AJV. For that, we are always grateful, and we'll give you our best support. Sally is one of my colleagues, so and you're in good hands. Sally has got other seniors working with her above in India, and if required, will come all the way to me. But to answer your question, I mean, because your wife she's got a brilliant profile, by the way, your wife. So fantastic, well done. I think she will do really well because she's already coming in with a lot of experience behind her. And from the way you describe her, I don't think you're being a doting husband. I think you're being a very fair, honest person describing the capabilities of another individual. So I think the choice of masters is fantastic because you're going to get 3 years of post-study work with her, which is brilliant. And with the kind of profile that she has, I think she will really do well anyway, because there are companies in New Zealand which are seeking to attract good talent of a similar profile. And bear in mind, New Zealand is a country that is growing very, very diverse, very, very quickly. There are a lot of people coming from different parts of the world, and a lot of workforce is also diversifying very, very quickly. So I do believe your wife would fit in very well into this multicultural, very diverse environments that are getting created in our organizations, in our companies, in our institutions, and everywhere else. So, good choice. 3 years of post-study work was a long enough time for your wife with her competency to find a job and relevant job, and then hopefully go for residency. As an alternative, the PhD also is a great opportunity in the event she completes a master's and she feels the inclination towards doing a PhD. I think I think it's definitely good the option also to choose. So absolutely, I think it's a good option. From master's to PhD, of course, would be a very, very good um, progression. My recommendation, of course, is once you complete some masters, I would say take the 3 years post-study work visa, try and get some work experience, or ideally even get your residency if you can get the right job. And then later, if you really want to, you can go back into your PhD or another master's by thesis or those kinds of things. So definitely a good idea. And she said by the time she finishes, she'll be close to 38 or 39 and you'll be 42 or 43. Is it a good, wise decision to start the application process now? Is it a good choice? Absolutely a good choice, Ravu, because if you guys don't do it now, you will never be able to do it. Bear in mind that the skilled migrant category policy says that up to 55 years, we would like to welcome people who have the requisite skills and the experience, the background, the English and the qualification and the spouse qualification, so on. I think it's a brilliant age. I think you guys are doing it at exactly the right time because if you wait too long, then most likely, you'll kind of reach that point, begin to hit that point of midlife where your motivation comes down. So, excellent choice. Do it now. Otherwise, you'll never be able to get onto this class. So, I hope you've answered your questions, Ravu. And my team tells me we are still waiting for your documents. So, if you're satisfied with the response I've given you, please have another chat with Siley and just go ahead and send your documents. And we look forward to meeting you and your wife here in New Zealand. And just bear in mind that we are there in New Zealand for you after you guys land here. There's myself, there's Mary, our senior manager, Virginia, who is also an ex-immigration officer, but she is now working with us, and she is also one of our students, by the way, because when she decided a career change, she said she's going to come to New Zealand for AGV, and we're very honored and privileged about the decision of hers. But she is now also part of our onshore team, so she's our customer service manager. There's Gisela Combrink, who is another licensed immigration advisor. There's Prakash, who is also one of our ex-students, who is now working full-time for us. So there are a lot of people, plus we have a lot of people called Kiwi buddies amongst all our student fraternity here in New Zealand in different cities who have kind of said, hey, look, if there are new people coming, put them on to us and we'd be happy to help and work with them. So, yeah, so overall, that is your AJV safety net for you guys. So, warm welcome to New Zealand. Yeah. Moving on to the next question. Hello, how many years stay back for master's degree? Hey guys, that's I know it looks very deceptive, but that's green tea. In case some of you are wondering, this guy sitting and having a whiskey and talking to us. I'm not time for that yet. Okay. Hello, how many years stay back for master's degree in management and thesis? Whether I can bring my family together. Binu, the policy is changing from 26th of November. So obviously they're trying to encourage people to come at the higher levels of courses. So master's is fantastic. I think, with the master's, you're going to get a 3 years post-study work visa. Plus the spouse would also get a work visa. So I think it is a very good opportunity for couples. If your wife is planning to come for a master's or you're planning to come for a master's, it's a great opportunity because not only will you get a 3 years post-study work visa, but you would also be eligible to bring your spouse on a work visa. And when one of you is on a work visa, the kids can come in and the kids can also get free education and certain other opportunities here in New Zealand. So definitely, Binu, it's a good opportunity for you. If you're not in touch with the AJV team, strongly recommend that you get in touch with the AJV team. Since the last 3 or 4 times I've started doing this, which is to create this little poster so that I don't have to keep repeating all that. So the way to get in touch with us is that all you've got to do is call that toll-free number. If you're in India, if you're not in India, you can just send us an email with your CV and our team will get in touch with you. Like I said, we are 40 people right now in the team and we're all extremely committed to helping, other good quality people to come to New Zealand. For those of you following my chat, my live session from New Zealand, if you want to have any questions about onshore advice and other visas like post-study work visas or spouse visas, please call or text Mary on that particular number. Mary is our senior manager, and so she is the first point of contact for any of you guys who are wanting to get any advice or services here in New Zealand. And then, of course, Mary's team includes myself and Virginia and Gisela and Prakash. So we're all there to support you guys. All right, cool. Rocky Praveen. Hey Jacob, good to see you. Rocky Praveen. Hey Jacob, I have good to see you. Same here, Praveen. Yeah, I have a mechanical engineer overseas degree assessed through NZQA. I'm looking for a technical job, but I'm in closed work visa. Can I change closed work visa to essential skills? I don't know. What do you mean by closed work visa, Rocky? It's not clear your answer, your question. But overall, your background is good because mechanical engineers are in shortage in New Zealand, like a lot of other engineers. So your background looks good, and you also got your overseas degree assessed through NZQA, which is great. There are two types of assessments, by the way. There is something called PAR, which is pre-assessment result, and then there is something called IQA, which is International Qualifications Assessment. So IQA is the one that you really want, and not the PAR, because eventually, if you're using your overseas qualification for residency or other purposes, immigration New Zealand would want to look at the IQA and not at the PAR. So you've done a good job. You obviously have got yourself a NZQA assessment, but if you've done only PAR, I would recommend get the IQA done as well. And you're saying you're looking for a tech job. You have not stated whether you're already in New Zealand or you're overseas. You say you're having a closed work visa. Again, your clear question is not clear. May I suggest that you email your CV with your contact number to info@ajvglobal.com. So we will take a look at it. Or if you're already in New Zealand, get in touch with Mary on that number and send your CV to her. Her email address is mary.joseph at ajvglobal.com. Send the CV and elaborate your question a bit more, and we will be able to come back and give you more advice. All right, cool. Right, Pedro Kiwiman. This name sounds familiar. Pedro, I have a feeling we guys interacted sometime in the past, on Facebook chat or YouTube or somewhere. So, yep. What is the best to document, provide, and tell the immigration as student level 8 postgraduate? Oh gosh, that question. And it says as bona fide. I don't know what do you mean by your question is not very clear, Pedro. To be honest, it's kind of a little gobbled and it's not clear. But I think what you're trying to ask is whether what are the documents you need to present to the Immigration Department of New Zealand to prove that you're a bona fide student or bona fide student, as some people tend to pronounce bona fide or bona fide, whichever way you want to pronounce it. I think the simplest way to prove your credentials with Immigration New Zealand is to be honest, is to be truthful, and put documents that are genuine. There are some idiots in the industry who are all this third grade, fourth grade agencies and companies which encourage good students to, do stupid things like creating fake documents to cover a gap in their studies or a gap in their career, or they can basically give all kinds of terrible advice to young students. And I have been interacting with Immigration New Zealand for almost 15 years now, and nothing works better with Immigration New Zealand than an honest client. A client who tells the truth just the way it is, a client who puts a genuine document, and if there is a gap in his studies or his in his work experience, they are able to coherently explain in an interview, or work with a good organization like AJV where we can explain it clearly in a cover letter and say, hey, look, this guy Pedro Kiwi Man is a good guy, but unfortunately there was a break for a year or a couple of years in his tenures, and the reasons for the break was either health or something else, and we can explain it. And then we also do some advocacy with Immigration New Zealand. Advocacy means we absolutely support your application and say we would not have taken up this guy's case if we were not convinced he is not genuine. So we put in our own words of support in your favor, which is called advocacy. So we advocate on your behalf, and because we have a very good track record with Immigration New Zealand, they know that AJB as a team will never ever do anything either with fake documents or with fake clients or people trying to enter New Zealand for the wrong reasons. We have never done it historically, nor will we ever do it. And like I said, we are a bunch of thoroughbred professionals, including some ex immigration officers and licensed immigration advisors who are all bound by a code of conduct and ethics. So that's the best way to prove your bona fide, Pedro, is just to be honest. And if you are not able to present it to your directly to Immigration New Zealand, work with a company like AJB and we will be able to take care of it. Hope I've answered your question. Right. Again, Pedro's continuing. It says, "Hey, look, I'll return to my country, or I will stay to get post-study work visa and search work visa and stay." I mean, like I said, we encourage our students to absolutely put it out there because you think a visa officer will really believe it if you say, "Oh, look, I'm going to go do a master's in New Zealand, and then after the course is over, I'm going to come back to India." Of course not. Did they know that you're going to come to New Zealand? You're going to do a master's. You're going to get your 3 years work visa. And you're going to try and get your work experience into place. And ideally, you will also try and pick that job at the right salary and the right position, which will lead you to residency. They know all these things. So, what's wrong in telling it out there and putting it out there? I'm sure they will absolutely appreciate the fact that you're being honest with them. And we encourage our students to talk about it in their statements of purpose and everywhere and just put it out there. And once you land here, we will even assist you as much as possible to ensure that you get the job and move into residency and stuff like that. So, Pedro, you have not confirmed whether you're working with us or not. If you're serious about coming to New Zealand and you want to be a success, please talk to the AJV team and we should be able to take it up and work with you. As I keep telling, that's as simple as that. Just pick up the phone and give a toll-free call on that number or send your contact details to info@ajvglobal.com. All right, cool. Excellent. But your name sounds familiar. We guys have interacted before. Janaka Amunugama. Uh, Hello, sir. I'm from Sri Lanka. Hi, Bhavan. See, I know one word of Sinhalese. I traveled on Sri Lankan Airlines once, and I picked it up from the air hostesses when they were, greeting us when we were getting in and out of the plane. I have applied for a graduate diploma level 7 program with my spouse. Rupees something money has been deducted on 11/9/2018 to a bank in Wellington. So I need to inquire about the delay of my visa. Janaka, we have no clue what about the status of your visa because I don't think it's my team. Hey team, just confirm to me. By the way, when I'm talking to you guys and girls, my team is on Skype and they kind of keep giving me inputs about who's who and whether you guys are AJV clients or not. So guys, this name is called Janaka Amunugama. Okay. So if Janaka is one of our clients, please give me an update so that I can answer him or her. But Janaka, we have no clue why there's a delay about your visa because I don't think you're one of our clients. So I would say if you've applied it yourself, you write an email to the Immigration Contact Center. If you have applied through some agency in Sri Lanka, talk to them and ask them, saying, guys, why is there a delay? If there is a delay for one of our clients, and we know that it takes a certain amount of time, so we don't like to put unnecessary pressure onto the visa officers who are dealing with our cases. But once it goes beyond that, acceptable time frame, of course, we do get uh, into the action and start pushing for a response from the visa officers. Like I said, we have a good track record. We have, by the way, guys, I want to share some good news. And it's going to be formally announced in November by Education New Zealand, but we have been selected to become one of the Education New Zealand recognized agencies. So that's because we have done a good job in not only in terms of numbers, but also in terms of our success rate with the visas and stuff like that. So yeah, so we have a good rapport with Immigration New Zealand. So if you were one of our clients by now, we would have been able to tell you what the problem is or where the delay is. And in the really critical cases, we even get reach directly to the senior managers inside Immigration New Zealand because we know the exact escalation points and we kind of talk to them and say, hey, look, this is a slightly critical case. Could you pull it out and kind of kind of fast track it a little bit? And a lot of times they're quite helpful towards cases which require that genuine immediate attention. So all good. So Janaka, unfortunately, I don't think you have applied through us because my team has not confirmed that you are one of our clients. So I probably would not be able to comment about why there is a delay. But if your money has been deducted from your credit card or from your account in a bank in Wellington, yeah, probably you're on the right track. All right, cool. Okay, this is tough work, people. Vaibhav Sharma, what is the possibility of getting job and health sector being on multi-purpose visa? Don't know, Vaibhav, because I mean, you can probably get a job in a health sector. I know for a fact that a lot of requirements are there in the aged care sector, where a lot of older Kiwis are in rest homes and hospices and hospitals and places like that. So I know for a fact which does come under the health sector. There is a lot of demand. I was reading it in one of our local newspapers and also listening to it on the news, which I watch every day in the evening. To ensure that I'm keeping up to date with what's happening in New Zealand. So definitely the possibilities are there. And you said being on a multi-purpose visa. I don't know what is a multi. Sorry, but I do tend to snigger a bit when I hear new terms which we are not used to. If you probably mean an open work visa, so which is a multi-purpose visa. It's a good terminology, by the way. So so I think the chances are there. We don't know what background you're from, Vaibhav. So if you're an AJV student, get in touch with and if you're already in New Zealand, get in touch with Virginia, and she will also mentor and guide you a little bit about your CV and your cover letter, and so on and so forth. And then we also like to connect our students to other people who are already in the sector you're wanting to get into. Because so the moment you said health sector, I can think of at least three or four of our students who are already working in the health sector. So, Vaibhav, if you're an AJV student, we will immediately connect you to those students of ours, and there's that little bonding and fraternity feeling of fraternity amongst all AJV students, and I'm sure you'll be able to get a job. But I'm not sure if you're an AJV student or not, and please don't blame me if you're an AJV student and I've forgotten. Please don't say this guy doesn't even know his students. But you're a lot of you guys. Unfortunately, I can't keep track of all the names sometimes. But hey, look, if you're an AJV student, you're part of my family and part of the extended family of the AJV team, and we will go all out to help you. All right, cool. Khan Shahid Mahmood. Work permit, visa process time, requirements, and expenses. Khan, it's not very easy to get a work visa in New Zealand. I've made a video and put it up on my YouTube channel. It says, "Can I get a job in New Zealand and get a work visa or internship?" So there's actually a video. Cannot get a work visa to New Zealand unless somebody has already made a job offer for you from New Zealand, or you've studied in New Zealand and you gotten finished the course successfully and you got yourself a post-study work visa open, which is what it's going to be from November 26th. Everybody's going to get a post-study work visa open. Earlier, there used to be open followed by employer-assisted, but they're kind of simplifying it and making it all into one simple post-study work visa open. So for you to get your work visa, which is what seem to be looking at, we need to know whether what's your background and so on. So, but when you're outside New Zealand and you're trying to find work and you're trying to find get a work visa, almost impossible, because unless and until you're very significantly high up in some technology area, really rarely do New Zealand employers want to hire somebody from outside New Zealand, because first and foremost there is a lot of good supply of people already in New Zealand with the work visa. So why would they want to take on somebody who's outside New Zealand and they're not even sure if you'll get a work visa or not? So, which is where we advocate and we say, hey, look, we actually push this quite strongly, saying, if you're keen to work in New Zealand, make an investment of money, time, and effort. Come here as an international student. In that, 1 or 2 years that you study, you'll not only get yourself attuned to the environment in New Zealand, but you end up with a legitimate work visa after you complete your course, and then you can go into the market and say, hey, look, this is my background, these are my abilities, and this is my knowledge, skills, attitude. How about giving me a job, so on and so forth. So I think, Khan, you need to send us your CV. I don't know if you're based in India, but if you're based in India, that's the number to call. And if you're not based in India, just send us your CV on that email address, and we will get in touch with you, and we will provide you more pathways how we can get a work. So, all right, cool. Apurva Kumar, hi sir, is the close proximity to earthquakes by cities Wellington and Christchurch hinder their ability to attract immigrants? Good question, actually. Good question. Is this one of the reasons Auckland is being overpopulated, apart from the numerous job opportunities it offers? Okay, let me tell you something about Auckland. In Auckland, you'll see a lot of these little hills everywhere. So there is one hill called Mount Eden. There's one hill called Mount Wellington. There's a nice island of the sea in Auckland. It's called Rangitoto. That's the name of the island. It's called Rangitoto Island. So all around Auckland, you'll see these little hills and like cones and all that. Guess what they are? They are all old volcanic cones, and apparently Auckland has got 50 or 60 of them. So, from a natural disaster perspective, it is very, very difficult to predict and say, Auckland will not erupt, or Wellington will not have another earthquake or Christchurch. Where I live in Hamilton, we don't know. I mean, in fact, when we had the earthquake in Kaikoura, it was in the middle of the night, and I actually felt this place shake a little bit. I thought I was too drunk, but I realized later that it was just a little shake. But so it's very difficult to predict the Apura, but I don't think people stay away from Wellington and Christchurch because of the perceived dangers from natural hazards. I think the reason why a lot of people flock to Auckland is because it has become the economic powerhouse of New Zealand. So, like in a lot of a lot of cities in the world. In America, New York would be the center of gravity for practically everybody on the East Coast, and on the West Coast, probably it will be Los Angeles, which is like the center of gravity. So I think each country develops these big centers of economic power, like Mumbai in India, for instance, and that is why certain cities tend to get overpopulated, like Auckland is, for instance. But the government realizes that, hey, look, we're getting maybe just too many people coming into Auckland. So they're kind of now trying to create a regional development fund. They're trying to grow the regions. They want more people to get out of Auckland because obviously it puts a pressure on the infrastructure, housing, and everything else. I personally would not live in Auckland for the simple reason that I came to New Zealand. I migrated here to live in New Zealand, and I think I get a better sense of what New Zealand is all about when I live in a smaller city like Hamilton or Wellington or Christchurch, because Auckland, it's a beautiful city, but it is very, very cosmopolitan, and you could be in any big city anywhere in the world. You could be in London or Chicago or any other place around the world, and that's what Auckland has become. So if you're really, really wanting that Kiwi experience, I'd say choose the smaller cities, smaller centers. Don't worry about natural hazards. Nobody can predict those, as it is known in the legal terminology. These are all acts of God. There could be a tsunami anywhere in the world. There could be an earthquake anywhere in the world. A volcano might erupt suddenly anywhere. So don't let those acts of God deter you from going to a good destination like Wellington or Christchurch. Just go where go where your opportunities as per your subject and your qualifications and your background is. Don't worry too much about those natural hazards, because also the country has got a good how do you say building code to ensure that even in an earthquake the houses don't fall down and kill people. In Christchurch, of course, we unfortunately we had some fatalities because a very, very large building fell down, so which is where the maximum number of fatalities occurred. So, and the government keeps reviewing all those things all the time, comes out with better building codes and building standards. So overall, that's what yeah, New Zealand or any developed country is all about, is to keep enhancing the quality of life and ensure that you learn from the past and make better things. All right. Cool. So don't let all that imagined things take you away, Apurva. And Apurva, you have not mentioned whether you're coming to New Zealand through AJB or not. One of my colleagues is typing something. If you're not coming to New Zealand through AJB, that is the biggest natural disaster that you're going to face. Sulab Jolly. Is level 5 6 cookery in Ara Institute of Canterbury a good choice? Is cookery a sustainable path as a future perspective? I think is what you're trying to say. Okay, Sulab, like this is another one of those things that I keep repeating quite often, that New Zealand is a country built on tourism, very strong industry. I think it is still our number one industry. So because we are so absolutely spectacularly beautiful as a country, and we have so many amazing places to visit, and I think New Zealand is on the bucket list of practically everybody in the world. So we have millions and millions of tourists coming into New Zealand. When so many people come into New Zealand, somebody's got to feed them. And if somebody's got to feed them, somebody's got to cook that food. And which is where chefs are always in demand in New Zealand. I'm going to quickly check to say if, yeah, I mean, chefs are still in demand in New Zealand. And so it's always a good option. ARA is a very, very good institution. It was previously called Christchurch Polytechnic Institute of Technology, or CPIT. Recently, they renamed it and called it ARA, which means the way or the path. By the way, it's a Maori word, and it means the way or the path. That's what it means. So good course selection, good subject selection, and good institution selection. Last question: are you choosing the right advisor and the right company as well? If you're not already working with us, Sulabh, we would like you to. I would like you to personally invite you to work with AJV. We have a lot of our students who have done courses in culinary arts and gone on to pick up very good opportunities in New Zealand. Uh, they're all doing well. In fact, one of my ex culinary arts students has recently joined the New Zealand Navy. So he's going to be working for the New Zealand Navy, but as a chef. So definitely good opportunities. And I would strongly encourage you to work with us, because we can also connect you to the right people and provide the right support with your CV, cover letter, industry connections, other student connections, and all those kinds of things. All right. So, Sulabh, looking forward to working with you, Mike. Shoaib Hussain, IELTS required. I don't know for what. Shoaib, you need to be a bit more clear. IELTS required for what? I mean, is it for diploma, PG diploma, graduate diploma? You need to expand your question a bit more. Vishal Bhatia. This is a complaint about my team. Vishal Bhatia. I have shared my documents twice with your team, but never got a response back. All right. Nishanti, Binal, Sai, and Mukta, please get in touch with Vishal. But I got some feedback, Vishal, and it says Vishal Bhatia is in touch with Mariam, one of our colleagues, and it says he's looking for PR only and has forwarded his CV to my email address, but no response yet. Okay, I think Vishal, because you asked this question, I think I've told this very in a lot of my videos, that if you're only looking to get residency in New Zealand, it is almost impossible. And I get a lot of emails, CVs, and sometimes unfortunately I'm not able to respond to all of them. And I try and take the help of my team sometimes to make the to try and manage those emails. But I'm still sometimes falling behind sometimes. But the simple fact of the matter, Vishal, is if you're only looking for residency in New Zealand, it is practically impossible unless and until you're present in the country. Why? Because there are two important rules that you need to take before you can get residency in New Zealand. Number one, you need to have skilled employment in New Zealand, or an offer of a skilled employment in New Zealand. So that rule is it's a must. You need to have either skilled employment in New Zealand or an offer of skilled employment in New Zealand. Or number two, you should have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years and have a master's or a PhD. So these are the two main conditions that have to be met. Plus, you need to also get 160 points through your age, qualification, spouse qualification, so on and so forth, da, 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 all those things. So only then you're eligible to apply for a resident visa, and which is why we're telling a lot of people who are saying, guys, you will not qualify. I do send back a response, and Mary, if you're listening, and please ping Vishal's email back to me so that we can respond back to him formally from my address. But the fact of the matter, Vishal, is it is almost impossible to get residency in New Zealand under the current set of rules for those two reasons that I mentioned. you, if there are some people who do get that 160 points without having employment in New Zealand, or having studied in New Zealand. But for them, they do not give residency. They only give something called the skilled migrant category job search visa for 1 year, which means you'll be provided with an opportunity to come to New Zealand for 1 year and find a job so that you can fulfill that first condition saying that you have skilled employment in New Zealand. And in that 1 year, they do not allow you to come with your family. You'll have to come by yourself. You're basically under the pump because you only have 1 year and you're trying to find a job. And it normally takes about 4, 5, 6 months time for someone to settle in and go around and kind of spread their CV around and things like that. So all things considered, Vishal, I don't think residency is a simple, straightforward opportunity right now for people who are not present in New Zealand, and which is where we recommend the pathway saying, hey, look, if you're looking at, because 99.99% of international students we work with are also seeking residency. And we explain to them saying, hey, look, residency directly is not possible, but there is this pathway, which is a nice, logical, step-by-step pathway where you can come, you get your post-study work visa, and then in that post-study work visa, you find the relevant job at the right position and the right salary, and that will lead you to your, skilled migrant category resident visa. So that's the way it works, Vishal. So apologies that if anybody, I will take the blame for not having responded to you all this while. But like I said, a lot of emails, but hopefully I have cleared it for you. So if you're keen about residing in New Zealand and wanting to get that residency, I will take a look at your CV again. But like I said, I've already given you the basics of it, and that's the way it goes, Vishal. All right. Cool. Uh, Nishant Thakur. Hi, sir. I'm an AJV student. Hi, Nishant. First and foremost, thank you for being an AJV student. You're a smart young guy. You know exactly what you want in life. Well done. I'm an AJV student. Since the new policies are out, there must have been a significant rise in the number of applications as well. Do you think there would be a rise in the applications getting declined? It's been 17 working days. I still haven't heard from from INZ. Okay. Nishant, 17 days is absolutely within the time frame that INZ takes to process applications. They're normally taking between 4 to 6 weeks time. So 17 days is just 2 weeks. So you're definitely, in the time frame. And yeah, the good thing about working with AJV is that we have a very high success rate, and Immigration New Zealand knows that we put high quality applications. So your application is probably still waiting in queue to be allotted to visa officers, because there are also, bear in mind, INZ is going through a lot of reorganization at the moment. They're closing down quite a few branches around the world, and they're trying to consolidate all the non-China student visa applications into Mumbai, and China, the branch in Beijing is also doing certain applications of the Chinese students. But practically, it's student visas from everywhere else are coming to Mumbai at the moment. So INZ is also going through a bit of reorganization at the moment, and because of that, also there have been some delays in the application processing, not just in India but here in New Zealand as well. In fact, and I'm a little surprised that it's taking longer than before for even basic visa applications like post-study work visa, open, and so on and so forth. So Nishant, nothing to worry. You're definitely within the right time frame still. So absolutely nothing to worry. And out of my 14, 15 years of dealing with Immigration New Zealand, or INZ as it is called, the general rule of the thumb is that no news from INZ is good news, which means quietly it is going through the process. But if they're writing back with a query or they're finding something that's not right, then that's not good news. But no news from INC is good news. I'm sure you have plenty of time to join your course. We have an extremely competent team of people in India and in New Zealand who are ex-immigration officers and licensed immigration advisors. We know exactly what we are doing. If it gets critical, we will make sure that you still will be able to make it to New Zealand. Don't worry about it, Nishant. And once again, thank you so much for choosing to work with HAV. I'll look forward to meeting you here in New Zealand soon. Prashant Murthy. How about Masters in Engineering Project Management in UAE, UOA, University of Auckland? Having 3 years experience, how good is the job opportunity? All right. Okay, Prashant, my team has given me some feedback about you. It says you have already applied for a lot of universities in New Zealand through IDP, which is one of our competing companies. Good company, but one of our competitors. And so, what's happening is once you apply to any of these universities through a particular company, so the university is saying we don't want to work with, we don't want any other company working with them. So yeah, I think your option at this point is if you want to work with us, I think we can probably provide you with an option of going to University of Canterbury, which is brilliant. I probably would rate a study in Canterbury much higher at this stage because of the extra 30 points you're likely to get after you complete your course and find a job towards your residency. I have nothing against the University of Auckland. I personally didn't have a great experience with the University of Auckland in my professional dealings with them. So I'm definitely not a big fan of University of Auckland. So I would instead, we've had great experiences with Canterbury and some of the other universities. So but if you're saying how good, if the simple answer to your question is it a good course from UOA? Yeah, it is a good course. Project management, I'm not sure whether you should be jumping into project management with only 3 years work experience. I would be careful to jump into project management with just 3 years of work experience. Ideally, I would say a few more years would be better. How good are the job opportunities? As good as your talent and efforts and abilities are will be. It's as good as that. If you come to New Zealand as an AGV student, if you choose to work with us, take our advice to consider going to the University of Canterbury. We will stand by you. We will work with you, connect you, help you with your CVs and your cover letters and connections and everything else, and ensure you get to the right place. So, one of the most important factors you need to consider is my company, which is doing my admission and visa, present in New Zealand? Are they willing to support me with all these things that AJV is doing for its students? I'm yet to come across any student recruitment agency that is actually doing workshops around New Zealand, talking about how to progress from this to this, connecting them to our existing students and all this stuff. So it is your decision whether you want that advantage by becoming an AGV student. But if you'd rather prefer to continue with the company you're working, all the very best. And I think overall your choices seem to be fine. Cool. But yeah, come to us. We'll make it happen for you. Pratik Jada, which course should we go for? Level 8 or 9 on supply chain management and logistics field? Okay, Pratik, purely from it's not the level. Again, I think I put up a video on my YouTube channel. It's probably also somewhere on our Facebook group and page. Our group, by the way, guys and girls, on Facebook is called AJV Global. So you go to facebook.com and sorry, that's our page. Just go to facebook.com/AJV Global. That's our page, which is where I'm coming live in this session right now. And then we also have a group called AJ. Go to facebook.com/group/. NZ options, and that's where we are also doing a lot of interactions. So I put up a lot of information, mainly aimed at AGV students, but if others are wanting to take it, good for you guys and girls. Okay, so I have a video which says the levels are not significantly important when you because at level 8 or 9 you will get with the new policy, Pratik. I think you will get the 3 years work visa for an 8 or a 9. So that's absolutely not a problem. So that's, but they should go into 8 or 9 depends on how much of past background and qualification and experience you have in that particular subject. Yes, a master's looks very good on paper, but are you equipped with adequate background and qualification and experience to take on a master's? A master's can be challenging. Master's is not easy. So maybe sometimes it's easier to just step down a little bit and take a postgraduate diploma. So You have not meant both of them, I think, either a PG diploma or a master level 9, because in most instances, a PG diploma is actually like the first year of a master's. So, I think it's a good decision to take. So, I would strongly recommend that you get in touch with us, Pratik. You have not mentioned whether you're working with AJB or not. We would like to understand um, a bit more about your background and provide you with the right solution. So, if you're not already in touch with our team, Pratik, that is how we get in touch. I'm assuming you're based in India. If you're not based in India, just all right. Next question. Ravi Bhatti asks, "Hi Arun, can you talk a little about talent visa approval? Already have a job offer. Please, how much time would it take for approval once filed in Mumbai?" Good question, Ravi, and I think the talent visa applications are fast tracked, and I think they receive priority over some of the other visa applications. So I think you congratulations that you found a job, which is great. It's not very common for people who are not in New Zealand to find a job. So obviously you come with a very strong technical background where some employer said, "Hey, look, I want this person." So well done, Ravi. Good on you. And like I said, they do prioritize, but I think you still need to give at least about 4 weeks for the immigration New Zealand to process your application. Not, uh, if you have not started your application yet, and you would like our professional help, I would ask you to connect with Mary on WhatsApp. Just add. Remove that zero there and add +64. So if you put a +64 instead of the zero, you will be able to connect with Mary, who is our senior manager, and WhatsApp, and then she will discuss with me or with Gisela, who are the two licensed advisors, and we'll be able to help you with your visa application. But many congratulations, well done. I'm sure you're a very, very talented young person. Darren Johnny is level 6 electrical engineering diploma in Wintech a better choice? Better choice than what? Better than what? You haven't mentioned that, Darren. You've just said, is it a good level to pursue from Wintech? Now, I don't know if you're saying only level 6. Probably you mean the level 5 and 6 because only a level standalone level 6 sounds a little not correct. So, if you're and as far as Wintech is concerned, which is Wintech is a shortened version of the full name of the institution called Waikato Institute of Technology. It's based in Hamilton, where I live. In fact, our senior manager Mary was today at Wintech to meet some of the senior managers there and have a discussion and kind of just have that good working relationship with one of the leading polytechnics in New Zealand. So good institution, absolutely top marks. The institution, your electrical engineering is also a good subject to choose, Darren. Definitely, but I'm a little not sure when you said level 6. Are you coming only for level 6, or are you coming for a 5 and 6? Based on that, your post study work visa scenario can change. And you've also not mentioned whether you're working with AJB or not. If you're working with AJB, I'm sure you'll get a lot of support from us once you reach here, and we can also help you to move forward after you complete your course. All right, because guys, as I keep saying, the real drama for all of you will start after you land in New Zealand. So please pick and choose to work with companies that are present here in New Zealand and who will commit to support you after you land here. In fact, at my workshop last Sunday, I was telling people it's great to get your admission and visa and stand at the airport and take a selfie and say, "Oh, off to New Zealand now," and that little dotted line that comes in Facebook saying traveling from Delhi to Auckland, all that is all very cool. It's all fantastic. You'll get lots of likes and loves and hearts and all that stuff. But the drama starts after you guys land here. And this is where you require good, solid, strong mentors and advisors and people who will hold your hand and walk with you on that particular journey and are willing to give you immigration advice, how to find jobs advice. If you get into trouble, drink driving, this, that, various other things, to give you some advice on those things or connect you to the right legal people who can help you sort out all those things. So Please choose carefully, guys. This is a big, massive, life changing moment, and the company you choose to work with can be a very, very significantly big component of your future success in New Zealand. All right, Darren. So, if you're not already working with AJV, Darren, please get in touch with us. That's where you can get in touch with us, and we would absolutely love to work with you. And if you're coming to Hamilton, hey, look, we'll get together, have a beer together, maybe play some cricket together, and maybe you can join my cricket team. All right, cool. Only for AJV students, by the way. Entry to the cricket team. Rajesh saying, I have 13 years of experience in software development field, want to move in business analytics field. What is chances of getting PR in New Zealand? Can you? Rajesh, you have a lot of work experience, so I recommend that you email your CV, and if you're married, also your spouse CV to info@ajvglobal.com, because you have such a lot of experience, which is more than 10 years. There is a chance you might qualify to get the 160 points without having a job in New Zealand or having done a master's or PhD in New Zealand for 2 years. So there is a possibility. But again, you will not get residency. You will only get the skilled migrant category job search visa, which will allow you to come and find a job in New Zealand. So send us your CV, yours and your spouse if you're married, and we will take a look, assess, and come back to you. All right, cool. Whew. Hi, sir. Apurva Kumar. Hi, sir. In the previous live session, you said that New Zealand does not have many campuses from major IT companies. Does this mean that New Zealand lacks IT job opportunities? No, Apurva. They set up major campuses in countries where the labor is cheap and where they can hire thousands and thousands of young engineering graduates at very, very low pay rates. And that's the reason you will not have a big campus of global IT companies in places like New Zealand or UK or places like that. You'll find it in India, you'll find it in Philippines, you'll find it in Malaysia, places where the labor is cheap. So that's the reason. Don't worry about the job opportunities in New Zealand. I have made a video and it is sitting in my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type Arun Jacob and then search for a video saying what are the job opportunities in New Zealand. And it's very good job opportunities. Again, this is a topic I covered in my last workshop. I spoke to a gentleman called Graham Muller, who is the CEO of an organization called NZ Tech, which is like the apex body for technology companies in New Zealand. And he's a very onto it man. And, he's also like a person who advises senior people in the government about technology initiatives and stuff like that. So he made a very, very valid point to him when I was on the phone with him. He said not enough TV students, New Zealand students, are taking up IT as a subject, or those who are graduating with IT are going to other countries to seek opportunities because they want to experience the world like how you want to come and experience New Zealand. And also, sometimes by the time they finish their courses, the technologies are changing. So because of all that, there is a big vacuum of IT skills in New Zealand. So the opportunities are very good, and they need to fill this vacuum with people from some other countries, and that's the reason it's important to import some good IT skills into New Zealand. So don't worry, Apurva, you will be in good hands, and a lot of our clients who have done, students and clients who have done IT courses are doing really well. In fact, one of them recently got a job, I think about $200,000 or something like that. So, which was a fantastic thing. So, Apurva, you have not mentioned whether you're working with us or not. If you're not working with us, please do that. Call us on that or email your contact details to that address, and we will take it from there. Cool. Hello, sir. How am I doing on time, gang? Am I all right? My throat is about to give up. Manmeet Vidri, hello, sir. Should I go for level 8 or 9 in the field of logistics? I think I just answered that question, Manmeet. Levels don't matter so much. It's about whether you are equipped to take up 9. If not, step down and do a level 8. The chances are pretty good in the supply chain and logistics. I think, like I said, we have a logistics, pretty big logistics industry here in New Zealand. And we some of our students and clients, spouses who came as spouses of students, have found good opportunities in supply chain and logistics. Manmeet, if you're serious, work with AJV and we'll be able to connect you with all these people who have found jobs in the logistics field, and we'll be able to do that. Okay. My team has very kindly written to me saying time is up, as is my little what shenanigan I do nowadays. I actually ring a bell saying, I'll need to wind this up and move on. So I'm going to answer one or two last questions, and then we'll get off this. So in case some of you guys are still asking me questions and I'm not able to answer in this live session, do not worry. Our team will connect with you. We will engage you one to one, and we will give you those answers. All right. Cool. Rahil Bayani says, hello, sir. I'm a district level sprinter, played football at district level and runner up for Puma Championship Mumbai. Sir, I just want to know, will these documents boost up my visa chances and any other benefits in New Zealand? I think if you're opting to choose a course in sports related kind of course, Rahel, I think obviously these documents will have a lot of validity because it's directly related to your what course you're trying to pursue in New Zealand. But if you're taking up a course in management, for instance, I don't know how relevant these documents will be, other than to show that you're a well-rounded individual and things like that. So you have not mentioned whether if you're applying properly or not, and you have also not mentioned what course you're applying for. If it is anything to do with sports, like sport and exercise or sports medicine or something like that, absolutely it would be very, very valid documents. Otherwise, maybe not so much. So that's my advice to you. So why don't you get in touch with our team, and our team will, like I said, we have a lot of ex-immigration officers now as part of AJV team, and we would have a look at it and see if you are going to work with us. We would absolutely construct your case in the right way, put whatever documents are required, and present it to INZ. All right. Cool. All right. One more complaint from Shajid Mahmood. I have mailed you and messaged you on Facebook, but didn't get a reply yet. Shajid, too many emails, too many messages on Facebook, and the comments on YouTube are killing me. I'm trying desperately to stay on top of it. So my apologies if I was not able to respond back to you. We'll try and dig out your inquiry and respond back to you. All right, guys. Team, please make a note of Shajid Mohammed, and let's try and respond back to him today. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna end this now. Maybe one last from Joseph Wilfred, and then I'm gonna end this. And because he's talking about his son, Joseph Wilfred writes, "Hi, my son is in grade 12 here in India and is keen on doing course with computer specializing in gaming." Excellent choice, Joseph. Excellent choice. Can you please help with your suggestions relating to a course at the graduation level, a university that offers the course, etc.? Thank you. Absolutely, Joseph. In fact, I have the privilege and honor of having introduced an institution called Media Design School into the Indian market back in 2006, I think. I was the first guy to introduce that school to the Indian market. And this institution, it's called a private training establishment, is owned and operated by the Laureate Group of universities globally, and it is rated as, I think, number 4 in the world right now for creative courses and stuff like that. A lot of my students have gone to this particular institution, and they've done really, really well. Quite a few of them have gone on to work in the creative industry in New Zealand, and quite a lot of them also ended up at Vita Digital, which is one of the most known creative studios in the world. And your son is planning to do a course in computers, specializing in gaming. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant career opportunity your son is taking. If I had a son who chooses this particular option, I would have been so proud of him. So, good choice. I think because your son would be coming at the graduation level, he would require a lot of support. So please send him to New Zealand through AJV, because we will be like that guardian to him in the absence of his parents, and we will ensure that the young man is studying well and progressing the right way. In fact, during my first workshop in Auckland, there was a father who traveled from India to drop his son in New Zealand, who came to New Zealand through us. And, we had a lovely interaction. And I told him, I put my arm around that father's shoulder and said, "Don't worry, your son has got so many friends. Look around this room, and there are about 25, 30 AJV students, who all gathered. So, and I could see that smile of satisfaction and of happiness on the father's face. Because he realized that the son is in good hands. So, Joseph, we would love to work with you and your family and your son especially. We would be delighted to help him to get into this media design school. That's not the only option. There are other options as well from some of the universities. But once you get in touch with us, we will give you more details, and we will definitely ensure that the young man has a good future and that you as parents will be happy and satisfied. All right, cool. On that note, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, I think I shall go away now. Rest my poor throat and get on with the rest of my life. But thank you so much as always. Every week, week after week, a lot of you come back and watch my broadcasts on Facebook and YouTube, and these will go on to become videos and sit on both Facebook and YouTube. So please go back and refer back to them. I just sit here. I'm your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration and education advisor. I just give advice like you were all my own family members. There are no hidden agendas with us. We are sincere to the core. We will tell you whether it's possible or not possible. If it's possible, we will gladly take you on as clients and be thankful that you're choosing AJV. If you're not, matching the criteria to come to New Zealand, we'll be honest and tell you and say, hey, look, I don't think you should attempt this. So, if you're and once you reach here, we will stand by you and help and guide you as much as we can to the best of our abilities. All right. So, if you're serious about a future in New Zealand, please choose new HJV. As always, goodbye from Hamilton. Kakite ano, which is see you later in Maori, and Pomarie, which is good night. Take care.